Today, I'm going to give you 4 hacks that you can apply to any scene in your novel to dramatically improve that scene and your novel as a whole. These are little tricks or constructs, different ways to approach a problematic scene that I lean on quite often whenever I have a scene that really isn't working. These are specific sorts of ideas or reframes that can help tie a scene together and really improve its impact. And yes, I have to call these things hacks because this is the internet and the internet police will come after me if I don't use the lingo. All right, first hack to improve a problematic scene is to tie description into character introspection. The description that you write for a scene should be relevant to that scene. We should see the things that the viewpoint character is likely to notice. One thing that can be very helpful if you have a scene where a character is doing a lot of rumination, if they're doing a lot of thinking, one thing that can be very helpful is to tie the physical description of that scene into the emotional tone or the emotional flavor of that character's introspection. Have whatever the character is thinking about be somehow tied into the weather or the decor of the room or the mood of the party that they just walked into. If a character is worried about the future, you can have them watching storm clouds rolling in. If a character just broke up with their love interest, you can have them walk down an empty street. If a character doesn't know what to do about their situation, you can have them struggling to find their car keys. There's all kinds of things you can do that tie the physical description of the setting into the thoughts that the character is having. You can really improve description when you describe what the viewpoint character is likely to notice in a scene. And if you change how you describe what they notice to match their internal emotional state, then that will improve the description even further. Next, scene improving hack is to try to avoid changing location within the scene, or try to make the scene happen as much in one place as you possibly can. I don't know about you, but I always find where you have scenes where characters are walking between different rooms or otherwise like moving around the environment as they're talking or something like that, I always find those scenes kind of a pain in the ass to write. Describing characters walking is kind of a pain, especially if they're having a conversation as they're walking. Every time they step into a new room, you have to work in the description of that room in a natural way so that the reader knows what it looks like, and that interrupts the conversation or the character thoughts or the action or whatever else is going on. You have to constantly establish blocking and keep the reader apprised of where characters are relative to each other and the setting. You have to describe and introduce any new characters that are in a new location. Moving locations within a scene can get incredibly annoying to write incredibly quickly. And as I mentioned, this is especially bad if moving locations interrupts like an important conversation or something. There are reasons to have characters move around within a scene, but I think especially for something like an impactful conversation or if a character is ruminating about something, for those impactful moments, I think keeping a scene in one place as much as possible is a really good idea. Unless you have a good reason for them to be moving locations or walking around, there's no reason that they can't just be standing there and having a conversation. What the reader is going to be interested in is the conversation that's happening, not necessarily the characters walking around. Next scene improving hack or whatever is linking scenes together. Now, I know that all of your scenes should be linked together in some way. That's what a story is. It's a bunch of scenes that, when linked together, make a plot. That's not really what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about here is explicitly linking scenes together, where the end of one scene flows directly and explicitly into the beginning of the next scene. If a scene ends with character A shooting an arrow, you might have the next scene start with character B getting hit by that arrow. If a character ends the scene by saying, "Boy, the sergeant is really going to be pissed," and then Sarge starts the next scene by saying, "Damn it, I'm pissed," that's another example of this. Anytime where a scene is directly linked to another scene, either through dialogue, through action, through a character thought, through some other thing happening is a really good way to improve both of those scenes. I like this because, for one thing, it's kind of funny. A lot of humorous stories cut from one scene and then start the next scene and have those two cuts be very, very closely linked together. So it's a really good opportunity for humor. But also, because you're ending one scene on a bit of a cliffhanger, like a character shooting an arrow or having a line of dialogue that doesn't get replied to, because you're ending on a bit of a cliffhanger, that builds a bit of tension and excitement for the next scene, and then you're immediately getting into what that tension or excitement is about, so you're immediately hooking the reader into that next scene, and it's very engaging. This is obviously something that can be way overdone. I wouldn't do it with every single scene, but when used on occasion, I think linking scenes together like this really enhances the writing, especially if you have very short scenes and you have a lot of scene breaks. I think this works really well. Next scene improving hack is to move introspection to dialogue. This is actually, I just rewrote a scene that I was working on yesterday or the day before by doing this, and it actually worked really well. So if you have a scene where the main sort of narrative beat is the character thinking about something, if they're coming to a realization, ruminating, processing their emotions, just sort of mulling something over, you can make that work by structuring the scene as just an introspection scene where the character's just sitting there and thinking, and as long as what they're thinking about is interesting and there's a bit of an arc to it, it will still engage the reader. That being said, a lot of scenes like this can be vastly improved by moving that introspection into dialogue. Instead of having the character think about all the stuff that they're thinking about, have them discuss it with another character. You can move through the same realizations or ruminations. You can have the character basically do the same thing, but have them arrive at all that through talking to someone else, rather than just them thinking about it. Doing this can make a scene more interesting because you'll have multiple characters interacting, which is usually more interesting than just one character sitting there thinking. It also moves the scene from just one character to more than one character, which means that you can also do things with that other character. You have an opportunity to characterize, reveal things about their backstory. You can move, if that other character has an arc, you can move it along a little bit. When you bring another character into the scene, that scene can pull double duty for both of those characters. I don't think that categorically a dialogue exchange is always better than introspection. Sometimes this doesn't work and a particular moment is better served by just having one character doing some introspection, but a lot of times you can improve an introspection scene by moving it to dialogue. If you're unsure if this is going to improve things or not, you can either sit and think about it or maybe go talk to your critique partners about it and see what they think. Next scene improving hack. Wait, were there 5 of these? Anyway, next scene improving hack, arrive late and leave early. This is a very common piece of writing advice. You'll see it repeated all the time, and it's repeated all the time for a reason. People will tell you to arrive into scenes late and leave them early. There are some very good reasons to do this. I've critiqued a lot of novels that have a lot of scenes where there is so much fluff at the beginning of the scene, like characters arriving and parking their cars and walking into the building and finding a seat in the meeting room and waiting for other characters to arrive, and all this pointless small talk and greetings and all this crap before we get to the actual meat of the scene. All this random logistical crap that goes into setting up a scene is usually not what the reader cares about. They want to get to the actual interesting part of the scene. So starting a scene late will often improve it. Less common but equally problematic is staying too late after the end of a scene. If your scene lingers too long after the sort of climax of that scene, the main impactful point of the scene, you can run into similar problems. You risk ruining the impact of that moment if we ruminate on it too much or spend too much time on the aftermath, and you can kind of muddy the scene a little bit because the reader saw this impactful moment, but then the scene kind of keeps going, and so they'll be wondering if there's another moment coming, or if that moment was actually as impactful, things like that. This is why starting a scene as close to the impactful moment as you can and leaving as close to immediately after that moment as possible is a good idea for improving those scenes. In every scene, the reader is going to be asking themselves, where is this going and when does this get exciting? And the closer you start to where the scene is going and where it gets exciting, the better off you'll be. I could say more things on this point, but I want to leave early. Speaking of leaving early, I'm not leaving early for this video. I'm leaving exactly at the end of it, which is where we are right now. So there you have it. If you have any techniques or hacks or whatever you want to call it that you use to improve your scenes when they're not working, please feel free to share them in the comments down below. If you want to see more stuff like this, you can check out all my other writing advice related videos. I post new videos 3 times every week. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time.